And now what happens that this expression remains as it is, but now this can be broken up as a plus b into a minus b, because this is a square minus b square. But this time what is a? A is 5 and b is p. So now 5 square minus p square, or a square minus b square, can be written as a plus b into a minus. Understood?
दीदी रुक दी हम कम कर साउंड कम करो
So basically, I have applied a square minus b square twice. First, I've applied here a square minus b square to get two factors, and again this factor was broken up as a square minus b square into a plus b into a minus b. Anyone with any problem?
सर
Yes.
सर sir
Yes.
can you please explain once more as I have some internet issue. Sir, can you explain one more as
Yes,
I have
yes.
some internet issue.
Let me just do it once again, and this is going to be quick this time. Okay. You see that this expression has two factors, two terms, in fact. Okay, this expression has two terms, 625 and p to the power of 4. You know that 625 is the square of 25, right? And p to the power of 4 can be written as p square, whole square. Okay, so now this is what? A square minus b square, which can be written as a plus b into a minus b, where what is a? A here is 25 and b here is p square. So what I do is I write this as a plus b into a minus b. Clear till this point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
25 plus p square, we cannot do anything with 25 plus p square. But what we can do is we see that 25 is the square of 5 and p is the square of p square is the square of p. Okay, curly brackets. Now this is my a square minus b square, and this time what is my a? A is 5 and b is p. So I'll break this up as the second one, as this will remain as it is, 25 plus p square, and this term I can break as a plus b into a minus. Now clear?
Yes, sir.
Moving on, 12 to 5y to the power of 5 minus 405y. A little bit of common sense. Both these are not perfect squares, right? 5y to the power of 5 is not a perfect square. 405y is not a perfect square. So what I do is I take out the HCF of the two terms. What is the HCF? 5y is the HCF. So if I'm taking out 5y from 5y to the power of 5, I'm simply left with y to the power of 4. And if I'm taking out 5y from 405, I'm left with 405 divided by 5, which is 81, and only 81, nothing else. This step, no problem.
No, sir.
5y. Now what do I see in this, under this bracket? Under this bracket, I see y to the power of 4. Now y to the power of 4 is a perfect square because it can be written as y square square. And 81 is also a perfect square because it can be written as 9 square. So what I do is curly brackets, y to the power of 4 can be written as y square square, and 81 can be written as 9 square. In which now this is of the form a square minus b square. What is a? A here is y square and b here is 9. So therefore this term can be broken up as a plus b into a minus b. Okay. Now this is not the end, because what I see is I cannot do anything with this term. This is a perfect square, this is a perfect square, but there's a plus sign in between. So nothing can be done with this term also. For this entire term, nothing can be done. What I see is that there's a y square perfect square, 9 is the perfect square, and I have a minus. That means something can be done, because 5y into y square plus 9. And now the third factor can be written as y square minus y square, just as we had done in the last one. So here a is y and b is, mute your sounds please, mute your sounds, otherwise you will not be able to hear. B is equal to 3. So this is 5y into y square plus 9, and this is of the form a square minus b square, which is a plus b into a minus b. So a plus b into a minus b. So clearly this expression has been broken up into how many factors? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 products. So there are 5 factors. The 5 is a factor, y is a factor, y square plus 9 is a factor, y plus 3 is a factor, and also y minus 3 is a factor. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. This question hasn't come. Let's see. This was question number what? 12.3. Let's see. This is 13.1. Okay, so it's not clear there. So let us work out here only. You have x to the power of 4 minus y to the power of 4 plus x square minus y square. Okay. Now see, there are 4 terms. Okay. 4 term means that I can group these terms in 2's. So what I do is I first group x to the power of 4 minus y to the power of 4 plus x square minus y square. The sign will not change because I have a plus sign outside. Okay. So this sign will remain the same. So now you see that x to the power of 4 minus y to the power of 4 can be written as x square square, the square of x square, and y to the power of 4 can be written as the square of y square. Okay. And this one, let us first write as it is, x square minus y square. Something can be done with this also, but I'm coming to that later on. Okay, now clearly this is a square minus b square form, right? Where a is what? A is x square and b is y square. So this can be broken up as a plus b into a minus b. That means this has been broken up as a plus b into a minus b. Okay. Plus, and you write this as it is. Now what do you see? You see that x square minus y square is a common factor with these two. I can take x square minus y square out. X square minus y square I take out. So what am I left with? From the product of these two, if I'm taking out x square minus y square, I'm left with only x square plus y square. Any questions in this step?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, so if I'm taking out x square minus y square from this term, I'm only left with x square plus y square. So I write x square plus y square. And if I'm taking out x square plus y square from this, I'm only left with 1. Right? So let us now remove the curly brackets. Okay. Now, can anything be done? See, nothing can be done with this because all signs are plus.
Sir, can you please explain it once again?
This which step? Which step? Tell me. Tell me which step.
So from the 4th step.
4. Okay, this step. You understood this step, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I say let z is equal to x square minus y square. So therefore this expression becomes x square plus y square into z plus z, right? So now I can take z out of these two. I'm only left with x square plus y square plus 1. Yes, you understood this? Yes?
No, sir.
Still you did not understand.
No, sir.
Okay. So I have now x square minus y square I take as z. Okay, this clear? I take z as x square minus y square because why did I take? Because this is the common factor, isn't it? That is why I took z. So now what does this expression become? For x square minus y square I write as it is. And I know x square minus y square is z plus for this plus. And I have x square minus y square here again. So I write z. Now is this understood or not?
Yes, sir.
Now I see
Yes,
that
sir.
now I see that there is a z here in this term and there is a z here in this term. Right? Now remember the first exercise where you were taking the HCF. What is the HCF of this and this? The HCF of this and this is z. Do you agree or not?
Yes, sir.
You agree this is
Yes,
the z is the HCF? So I take out the HCF. If I take
Yes,
out the
sir.
HCF, what am I left with? I'm left with x square plus y square into z. And since I've taken out the HCF, I have to divide this by the HCF also. Plus, and I've taken out z, so this becomes z by z. Do you agree till this step or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now what does this become? This becomes this z and this z cancels, so you get x square plus y square. And this z cancels, you get 1. Okay, no problem.
No, sir.
Z, I remove the curly brackets, x square plus y square plus 1. I put back the value of z. What is the value of z? X square minus y square. And I write x square plus y square plus 1 as it is. Okay, this has been broken up into two factors, but something can be done further also. What can be done further? You see that x square can be written as the square of x, y square can be written as the square of y, and this term will be written as it is. Okay, so this time what is this? This is a square term and this is your b square term. So what is a here? A here is x, b here is y. So now they can be broken up as a plus b into a minus b. So this is a plus b into a minus b, and this will remain as it is, x square plus y square plus 1. So clearly now nothing can be done. Okay, so this has been broken up into three factors: first, second, third. No question?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir. So,
Let us proceed with the last one. Yes, last one. Now if you see this sum looks like which sum? Sum looks like which sum? Have we done this type of sum or not?
It looks like the last sum which we have done.
No, not the last sum that we did. If you see this sum looks like these sums. Sum looks like this, 11, 2. See, there are 4 terms in this sum.
yes, sir.
There are 4 terms in this sum. See,
Yes, sir.
what you also see in this sum is that there were 3 squares, right? 3 perfect squares. You had this as a perfect square. You had this as a perfect square, and you had this as a perfect square, right? There are 3 perfect squares. See here, there are 3 perfect squares also.
Yes, sir.
This is 8a whole square. This is 3b whole square, and this is 7c whole square, isn't it? So this is similar to the sum that we have done. So in this sum, what did I tell you? I told you that when you see there are 4 terms and 3 are perfect squares, you choose any 2, right? You remember or not from the last session?
Yes, sir.
But the question is which to choose. So let me first choose someone who can answer me. Mr. Harshvardhan. Mr. Harshvardhan, you are there or are you sleeping? Who else is there? Harshvardhan is sleeping. Ayushi.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, tell me which 2 should I choose?
Sir, you.
And you're giving up? Question pass. Sarmistha.
So, second term and third term.
Second term and third term. These 2.
Yes, sir.
No, I'm choosing among the perfect squares. No, among these 3 I'm choosing.
So,
I'm choosing
so
among the
then,
first, second, and fourth. So which one should I? Which 2 should I choose?
So, we
second
can
and
choose
fourth.
second and fourth.
Exactly. But why second and fourth?
So
Why
they are
second?
odd numbers.
No, I told you. I gave you the logic in the last class. Let me rewrite it. 64a square minus 9b square plus 42bc minus 49b square. The reason why I'm choosing this, sorry, this is c square. Hmm, this is c square. The reason why I'm choosing these 2 squares is because see, I have a BC here, right? And I have a b square here. I have a c square here. That is why I am choosing these 2. Because see, if I choose this as my a square, 3b square, if I choose this as my b square, 7c square, then this might just be my 2ab term. Did you understand or not?
Yes, sir.
Because this will now become of the form a plus b whole square or a minus b whole square. Understood? That is why I am choosing these 2 squares, because I have a BC. Because I have a BC, this a squared term and this b squared term will give me my 2ab term. That is why. Is that clear? I
Yes,
had
sir.
mentioned this in the last
Yes,
class.
sir.
So what I do is I first group these 3 together. Then I will see. So what I do is I see that there is a striking resemblance between these 3 terms. Something can be done with these 3 because I have a square, I have a b square, and this may just be my 2ab. So I group them together. 64a square minus 9b square. Since I've kept a minus sign outside the bracket, all the signs within the bracket will change. Okay, all the signs within the brackets have changed. Now see, what does this looks like? A square, b square minus 2ab. Doesn't it look like this? Which is what? A minus b whole square, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So let us check what we can do now. Mathematics is everything about intuition. Something from within should tell you. So 64a square is 8a whole square minus, I introduce curly brackets, 9b whole square can be written as a square, that is 3b whole square. Let us keep 42bc as it is. We'll see later what can be done. Whether this is the R2ab a term or not, we'll check later. But a square term I have written, which is 3b whole square. And the b square term also I'll write. Okay. Now let us check whether this 42bc is my 2ab term or not. This is a square minus 2, a is my 3b, b is my 7c. Now let me check. Will this give me 42? Yes, it is giving me 42. 3 into 2 into 7 is 42 bc, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Now this is done. 8a minus 3b minus 7c whole square. Now this 8a whole square. Now this is a difference of two squares, right? Let us write, let x is equal to 8a and y is equal to 3b minus 7c. I have done it directly. Okay. You, for your understanding, you can take x and y. So this becomes x square minus y square. So this is what? X plus y into x minus y. Okay. And x is 8a, y is 3b minus 7c. Agreed or not?
Yes, sir. Yes.
8a minus y. Y is 3b minus 7c. Now I'll remove the curly brackets, remove the brackets inside to get 8a plus 3b minus 7c. Because there's a plus sign outside, this sign does not change. And because there's a minus sign outside, when I open this bracket, this must become plus. So 8a minus 3b plus 7c, which are my required factors. This is one factor, this is the second factor. No problem.
No, sir.
No,
No,
sir.
sir. No, sir.
So I hope you have been doing the whatever sums I've left out, you have done. I hope. Or if there is any problem, then I can help you out with those. Okay. We start with the factorization of trinomials. Notes I have already sent you. I hope you have copied it in your exercise copies. If you haven't, copy it as soon as you can today itself. And you must have your copies in front of, even though you have the presentation in front of you, but still you must have your copies in front of you open while doing the classes. And the idea of sending you the note I have
Yes,
already
sir.
told you. The idea of sending you the note I have already told you. The idea of sending you the note is that you practice from the notes. You see the notes, you cover it, and then you do it yourself. If you can't, then that means there's something with some problem with your practice. You may be understanding everything in the online classes, everything from the textbook, everything. I mean, whoever says something to you, you may understand everything, but when it come to doing the sums, you won't be able to do anything because you haven't practiced. You have not done it with your own hands. Your friend may be doing in front of you, and you may be agreeing with whatever he is writing. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, fine. You understood everything, whatever, but you are not doing it from your own hands. That is the main difference in mathematics. You hear English, you can speak good English, but you hear mathematics, not necessarily you will be able to do mathematics. Understood? That is the difference. So continuing with middle term factorization or factorization of trinomials. I've taken this example: 3x square minus 5xy minus 12y square. Now, why is it called factorization of trinomials? It is called factorization of trinomials because it consists of three terms. Trinomial, as I told you in the beginning, it means three terms. There are three terms in this. That is why it is a
Yes,
trinomial.
sir. 3 terms.
Okay. And what is so special about these three terms? Because trinomial can be any trinomial, right? But what is so special about this trinomial? The thing that is special about these trinomials is that you have, see, descending powers of x starting from 2. Here the power of x is 2. Here the power of x is 1. Here power was 2. Here the power of x is 1. Here the power of x is 0. That is the speciality of this trinomial, that it will always have powers descending from 2 to 0. You have the power 2, then you will have the power 1, and then you will have the power 0. Or I said this is descending powers of x. You can also write it in descending powers of y. How? Because this trinomial can also be written as minus 12y square minus 5xy plus 3y square, 3x square. Can it be written in this way or not? Any disagreements? So no disagreements. It can be written. See that I have rewritten this trinomial with y squared term first. So what do you see? This is isn't this a descending powers of y? You have power of y here as 2. You have a power of y here as 1, and you have a power of y here as 0. Am I? I mean, can you understand what I am saying or not?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So these two are the main factors that will distinguish any trinomial from this trinomial. So I repeat, what are the two distinguishing factors? First thing is that this will be a trinomial consisting of three terms. Okay. Second distinguishing factor it will be is that it will contain descending powers of a variable. Okay. For example, here I have written in descending powers of x starting from 2 to 1 to 0, and here I have starting from, if I have written it in descending powers of y, starting from 2, then the power of y is 1, and then the power of y is 0. So these two are the distinguishing factors, and these two are the main factors which uh, whi- which by which you can say that you can factorize the trinomial. Okay, you cannot factorize any trinomial in this way. That's the way that I am going to tell you. You cannot factorize any trinomial in this way. Only those trinomials in which you have descending powers of x starting from 2 to 0, or descending powers of y starting from 2 to 0, only those trinomials you will be able to factorize in the way that I am going to explain. Is that absolutely clear, or anything that needs explanation? Anything that you could not understand?
No, sir. I understood.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I think I have 2 minutes left. I'm disconnecting. Okay.